say my biggest accomplishment in life was raising 11 children. And now to see them all grown up, and every one of them is a great, good worker. They all work hard, and they're all very kind. They're very kind to me, and they are very kind to each other. And I think that would have to be my greatest accomplishment. If I had to give advice to my younger self, I think I would say, realize that nothing lasts forever. Whatever happens, you can get over, no matter how bad it is. You can always recover from it. You can always start again. You make mistakes, you can always start over. Every day is a new day. And I think that I just would say, be strong and don't let stuff get you down. And try hard to develop a good sense of humor. That really will help.
Go ahead.
It is best to live your life after 70 with a great sense of humor. If you don't see the humor in getting old and starting to hurt and having things go wrong with you, if you can't see the funny side of things, you're not going to make it. But there's always funny sides in everything. No matter how old you are or how sick you are, there's still funny things that happen. And if you look for the humor, you will get by.
Go ahead.
I'd say one of the favorite stories of my life was that I went to a Catholic school, and there were a lot of kids in the school, hundreds. And once a year, it was time to crown the Blessed Mother in May. And they always pick someone. And I never ever was picked. But they only picked young kids. They only picked your 5 or 6 year old. And one year, they actually picked me. I was about 5 and a half. And I was so excited. And when I went home and I told my mother, she was very, very happy. And she said, absolutely, we'll get you a dress and flowers. And that was a very happy time.
And you did it.
And I did it. Biggest event in my life was in leaving England and coming to America. It was such a drastic change. In England, I lived in a suburb, and I could walk to the corner and get on a bus and go anywhere. Get off that bus and get on another and go anywhere. When I came to America, as I said earlier, I lived on a farm, and we had no running water. And I had 3 babies while we lived on that farm. And they were using cloth diapers. I had to wash them and hang them on the line. We had to get the water from outside by pumping it and bringing it in the house and warming it on the stove. But then when we moved to a bigger house with 2 bathrooms, and they started using disposable diapers, it was a huge change in my life, because I finally had a bathroom to use and didn't have to hang out cloth diapers on the line. And I had a washer and dryer, an automatic washer, something I'd never seen in my life before until I got one. I met my husband Don after I'd only been in America for 2 weeks. my sister Vera had a new little baby and she was getting it baptized. And the priest said that he would call on Don Sullivan to be the godfather because he knew him, and Don knew my brother-in-law Grant. So they asked him if he'd be the godfather, and he really didn't want to. He said whenever they needed a godfather, they always called on him. But when he got there, I was going to be the godmother. When he got there and saw me, he said he about died. He thought I was so beautiful. He said he thought that he'd died and gone to heaven. And he was the godfather. And then 2 weeks later, he came over to our house and asked me out. And I went with him to a place nearby where they sold catfish, and we had a meal. And then my birthday came along in July. This was in June, and in July it was my birthday. And my sister and her husband were taking me out to eat, and they invited Don along with me. And he came, and you could tell he was really smitten. And when I got home the next night from being somewhere, he was sitting in a chair. Oh, I know I had been skating, and I'd met a boy at the skating rink that wanted to bring me home. And when I walked in the house and had this boy with me, and I saw the look on Don's face, he was absolutely furious. And after they left, this boy left, and I went to the door with Don, and he really was unhappy. And I looked at him and I said, "What on earth are you unhappy about? You never told me you were coming. You've got to let me know if you want me to be here. I'm not just going to be here and wait on you." And believe me, after that, he always let me know when he was coming. And then it was about a month later, and he asked me to marry him. So that made it 2 months I'd been in America. And he wanted to get married that day or the next day. But we had to wait till the end of September, which meant I had been in America for 3 months when we got married. And nobody thought it was going to last.
And how long did
But
it last?
it lasted. When he died, we'd been married 60 years. So I'd say it lasted.